the longest-serving Prime Minister of Japan, and that speaks volumes really of his political career and the kind of goodwill that he enjoys. I just want to play out. Geeta, just stay on with me. This video that's emerged of the attack, what we've circled there is the former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe speaking, and mid-sentence, you can hear this loud bang and smoke going off. The person who's shooting it clearly also disoriented by what's happened and brings his or her camera down. But that is the moment. I just want to play out that sequence for you for a moment there of how exactly this attack happened, how everyone was so shocked and taken aback by that. You can see them literally jumping out of their skin when that bang is heard. Let's play it out for you. It's horrifying to see that. It's horrifying to see that, you know, the former Prime Minister at this rally, and very, very common, mind you, in Japan, to have these kind of very, very public rallies. You may be wondering, how is it that a former Prime Minister is standing there in the middle of the road and addressing people? That's what Japanese culture is all about. There have been no such incidents of violence, political violence, killings that have been reported. And that's why political leaders there are, you know, they easily communicate with people, they hang out with locals, there's no security, you know, problem or lapse that's really reported in these kind of circumstances. And yet, this incident has no doubt shocked the people of Japan, because it's unheard of for something like this to happen. You can see so many people standing behind Mr. Shinzo Abe, all of them just shocked and disoriented the moment that bang is heard. And witnesses who we've also been speaking to have said that they heard two loud bangs, two shots that were fired at Shinzo Abe. It's being speculated that the attacker had a shotgun with him, but that's something we'll wait for the police to confirm as well. But you can see smoke around after that bang is heard. Shows you that this is clearly a high-powered firearm that was used. It was very clearly, you know, a premeditated attack. This was by no means spur of the moment. It was clear that the person here, the suspect, Tetsuya Yamagami, I beg your pardon, knew that this was that he was there, knew that Shinzo Abe was addressing this rally, because he was a local of Nara city. So he waited for Shinzo Abe essentially to come down to his city and then fired at him. And like I said, the question everyone's asking right now is why? We unfortunately don't have the answers to that just yet. There was a very, very brief statement. There was a very brief statement that was put out by the government, because they're still gathering details also, understandably. They've said that a task force has been set up, a crisis management task force. Information is still being gathered. Very importantly, the government has said that the condition of Mr. Shinzo Abe is currently unknown. The Japanese Prime Minister Kishida has received a report on what exactly happened there in Nara city at 11:30 a.m. Japanese time. He's currently on his way back to Tokyo as well, understanding the gravity of the situation at hand. The police at this point have only put out one brief statement where they've confirmed the identity of the shooter as a 41-year-old Tetsuya. He was a local of Nara city, has been overpowered, taken into custody by the police. So his questioning will be crucial for any leads on what led to Abe being shot at. Why did he resort to this kind of an attack? This was no mass shooting. This was clearly not with the intent of maximum casualties, because you see so many people surrounding Mr. Abe there. Not one of them has been shot at, and there will be questions about whether the attacker was a professional as well, because he managed perfectly to aim at Mr. Shinzo Abe and target him. And you can see the former Prime Minister completely unaware, speaking to the public there at that platform in the middle of the road. Mid-sentence, he's shot at by the suspect, and moments later he was administered CPR. The information we have is that he didn't respond to the CPR, wasn't showing any vital signs, and that's when the decision was taken to immediately rush him to a nearby hospital to airlift him out of that site. You see the security personnel surrounding him, lifting him up and taking him. By then, Mr. Shinzo Abe, unfortunately, was unconscious. He immediately collapsed after those shots were fired, was seen bleeding and was administered CPR, as is the protocol by the paramedics team there. who've confirmed, unfortunately, that almost immediately after the shots were fired at Mr. Abe, he suffered a cardiac arrest as well. The information that we have, Geeta, on the attacker, whose images we're showing on the right of our screens, where he was pushed down to the ground by the security guards. They immediately ensured that the weapon was pushed away from him. He was overpowered and taken into custody. You can see him clearly trying to escape also from that spot, trying to flee, dropping his weapon and trying to run, trying to also struggle with the security guards. But many of them immediately, presence of mind there, managed to surround him, overpower him. The police have put out some sketchy details, some basic information about him.
Right, the fact that the suspect was caught on the spot the very same moment is certainly going to be, at least there will be truth and there will be information that will be revealed. It will not remain a mystery. And that certainly is a very important development where the suspect has been apprehended. Again, you know, it will be very unfortunate. Akshita, the news itself is unfortunate, but very unfortunate if the man is mentally unstable. But we do not know that yet. We do know that the leadership of Japan, be it Shinzo Abe or the others, have always been fiercely intolerant to the cults that Japan has seen in the past and any right-wing extremism. Again, we do not know whether if he's affiliated to any of the groups. Political affiliations, none whatsoever has been known or is out yet. So we'll have to wait for authorities to really inform us of what really transpired and why the action, what was the motive behind the attack. Whatever the case may be, the situation right now is rather grim. Family members of Shinzo Abe, we do not know whether if they are on their way to the hospital or not. He already has, his vitals are still not responding, and he already is has suffered a cardiopulmonary arrest according to local media reports. So very difficult situation over here, and again we'll have to wait and see how the administration takes things forward. Prime Minister Kishida is already on his way to Tokyo. The visuals that we show of the man who was apprehended, while he tried to make an escape, it was not a very aggressive effort that was made. He did succumb. The moment the officials came near him and apprehended him, he did not put up a fight. He has been arrested. He has been apprehended. And in all probability, questioning must have begun. So we will again have to wait, Akshita, to see what the details of his motive really are. Whatever the case may be, this is not a pistol shot. This is not a shot in any area of the body which would not cause harm. It was a shotgun from a very close range, right behind Shinzo Abe and to his chest. So a very, very difficult scenario in all respects. If you see the entire incident play out, this is Shinzo Abe suffering the worst kind of attack on a leader, and with his vitals not responding, we can only pray for a recovery. But some wires are already suggesting that it would be near impossible. So again, we have to wait for official statements coming from the hospital and from the Prime Minister's office.